This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hey guys, I'm Kate, welcome back to my channel. And recently I was tagged by Amanda in a writer self-care bingo board created by Myth Hikari, and I did some Googling and found a whole bunch of writer self-care lists, other self-care bingo boards, and I thought this idea was so genius because we all know that rest and recovery and self-care is so important to the creating process, but like, how often are we really making time for it? And while I don't think you should have to gamify something like self-care, does it help? Yes. And so I figured I would create my own version, a version sort of specifically for me. I made a whole list of over 25 potential self-care items that just rang true. I am a big fan of trash reality TV, as most of y'all know. And what I find is that after a long day or a long week of writing, all I really want to do is crash and like turn my brain off. But I don't know that that is the best thing I could be doing for myself. It is necessary. It is, well, yes it is. It's necessary at times, but what would also be good are things that can work to sort of refill the well. Reading other people's books, watching other TV shows, even video games, trying a different sort of art form that's completely separate from writing, and also like, you know, just treating yourself sometimes. So I have a bunch of different categories for my personal bingo board. My goal for today is to hit off and see if I can't get a full bingo all the way across in some such direction, and I would love to know what self-care items you would put on your own bingo board. I'm sad to say that it did take me quite a bit of thinking to get over 25 items, but now that I have them, let me show you some specifics. So here is a better look at my personal bingo board, summer edition. I actually think this idea is so fun, and because I'm hopping on a seasonal train, I think I might do one of these for fall and winter and spring and try and like clear the board, get every item checked off. In the cooler months of the year, I'm able to spend more time outside, and being in nature is so like rejuvenating for me, and it helps me like sort of practice my description. So anyways, just some ideas for the future. But we are in summer, so some of these are refilling the well in a sort of active way, like finishing a book off your TBR, first chapter library medley madness, even something like watching a movie in the genre of your WIP, puzzle and audiobook time. Then there are some that are just sort of like thinking about my character as I'm trying something new, like crafting a drink my main character would love, or trying a themed recipe to my work in progress. But then others are about extending my creativity elsewhere, like crocheting my blanket, doing a little manifesting journal break. Some are like treating yourself, which I think is also important. And not that we need an excuse to spend money, but sometimes I feel like we don't always reward ourselves for the progress that we've made in our story. So, And then still I have one, like try a new yoga routine where it is very important self-care, but also not self-care that I like do the best job at getting myself to do. So putting it on the list and clearing the board means it'll get done. Now, I just finished making this recently, so I'm actually going to roll the dice and see what I get. I think sometimes when we've been writing all day, we're kind of in like a not decision deficit. It's like we're so tired we don't really want to make another decision, and that's what makes it so easy to go and plop on the couch. But with something like this, and if you're going to use the dice, you don't even have to think about which one you're going to do. You just do what the dice tell you. So right now I have 24 options. So I'm going to use the 12, the 8, and the D4. 1, 7, 9. So that is 17. Let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. First chapter, library medley madness. I have quite a lot of books to choose from. And the goal here is to just go through each of the first chapters, not on all the books, like a handful, and see if I'd want to continue reading them. Sometimes I get super invested and I keep reading past the first chapter. Other times it is like the greatest indicator that, you know what, it sounded cool on the back, so I picked it up, but it's actually not for me. So we're gonna get started on that. This does mean that I could either go this way or up and down. So off the top of my head, take a long, relaxing bath, craft a mood board for your WIP. I mean, this one sounds pretty good. Or do a face mask, buy some WIP themed stationery, start a new crochet project, watch videos off my watch later. I have hit the cap on YouTube's watch later amount that they'll let you. So like I've been trying to watch some videos from forever ago that I put on there, and yeah, we'll see. I got some options. So I think I'm going to grab one essay collection, one rom-com, a non-fiction book, cozy mystery, and some horror short stories. I think we'll start with the royal art of poison. Filthy palaces, fatal cosmetics, deadly medicine, and murder most foul. This was such a good first chapter. You agree, Beth? You agree, Zelda? I love that the quotes included weren't updated. It's fun reading old text. For that poison which is carried into the body by smell is the most rapid and effectual. It also gave me a lot of really good ideas. That's what I was hoping for with a book on poison. In this first chapter, we went over a lot of examples of like almost dining protocol and the levels they went to have other people test poison for the royals, which I think I can incorporate into the Meridian maps to add like an extra little layer of fun. It'll really work with the characters too, to have like a food taster. It won't help because ultimately one of the characters is going to die, but you know what? It fits. And I will say, to Eleanor's credit, it is very research heavy, but she does include just like little bits of fun due to scientific befuddlement. However, no one knew this, and ignorance always fans the flames of fear. Talking about how people would like kiss the napkins and the linen that the meal was going to be like had on. They would sit on the cushions that the kings and queens and whatever would sit on. It's wild. Other chapters of the book were going to get like very specific into certain people, so it's gonna be quite fun. My library had this on display on one of the side shelves. A good grab. Now for something totally different, and some coffee. Best served hot. That's a lie, I love iced coffee, but cappuccino best served hot. This book did make me hungry, which I actually love from books when the description of the food is just like, oh. But it had one of my pet peeves in the first chapter, especially anything that revolves around food, but also like just timing of stuff. They like sit down, order their food, and in the span of like what felt like 3 little things of dialogue, the food has arrived. And it's like they didn't even put in anything to pretend like there was more conversation that we just didn't like hear, you know? Also, not once in this chapter between the main character and her best friend do we hear anything interesting about the best friend. She just serves to only talk about the main character, and I'm just like, again, you couldn't even pretend for the first chapter. In these instances, I look online to see if I'm like wrong about the vibe, but for the most part, it doesn't have like a phenomenal Goodreads review, which doesn't necessarily matter, but as I was reading the reviews, I was like, there are better rom-coms revolving around food, but I think this one's a no-go, even though I think the premise is cool. It's just, it was 2 strikes for me, you know? Now though, let's go to how to be a heroine, or what I've learned from reading too much. Okay, I loved this one. It's so fun when you pick up a book expecting one thing and then getting even more. I expected in some ways an ode to these protagonists, these heroines, and you do get that, but also it's just kind of a reflection on what she consumed and the culture and how all of that impacted to create her, Samantha Ellis. But also I got a little bit about like Iraqi Jewish traditions, and I really like her writing, so I'm excited to continue this one. Okay, so we're gonna try and cross off a few other things from the list, and one of them is hitting up for some stationery and other assorted crafty things. I came to pick up this one, and now I got these. Dropped off 1 book, picked up 5, not a bad ratio. I'm also very excited to use my stamp. Okay. We did that one. And now I want to shout out Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. I actually, in my notes when I was coming up with possibilities for things to do for self-care, I had a take a fun class on a new topic. So if you don't know about Skillshare, they are the largest online learning community for creatives with tons of incredible classes on things like creative writing, crocheting, web development, music production, and so much more. Everyone from dabblers and beginners to pros looking to level up their skills will find so many useful lessons. In the past, I've taken writing lessons from Roxanne Gay and Saba Tahir, but recently I've really been enjoying Tony Lipsy of TL Yarncraft fame and her class Modern Crochet Essential Skills for Getting Started, because that is me. I am getting started. Her lessons on choosing your yarn and the tools you need were so incredibly helpful in the wake of absolute overwhelm I faced the first time I walked into a craft store and just saw the aisles upon aisles of yarn. I did not know it came in so many different sizes and textures. Figuring out how to read what hooks are recommended, but also knowing when to use a different hook than what's recommended. She goes over it all, and if you take her class, by the end of it you will have like a little coaster, which is very cute. I'm working on it right now. And I would also like to shout out Ali Abdal's Notion Masterclass, Maximize Your Productivity and Organization. I use Notion basically every day, but I utilize maybe 1/10 of its capabilities. I've downloaded a lot of templates from other creators, but often I find that there's like just something that doesn't quite work the way I want it to. And I have been working alongside Ollie, creating my own Life OS. He's also going to take us about how to make our own templates so I can like perfect it to exactly what I want. And I'm so excited to create something for my 100 hours of drafting experiment that hopefully I can share with y'all in the future. So if you also want to try something new or expand an existing skill set like writing, the first 1,000 of y'all to use my link down below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. I seriously cannot recommend it enough, and thank you once again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Before we do any more, I do want to play with my stamp. Okay, this upcoming week, I'm thinking of adding up the total words each week and just writing them out here. I think that would be fun. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, okay. I didn't do it perfectly, but look at that. Oh my god. I've been thinking how fun it would be to get into stamps for a while now, and I'm worried that this is going to be a new thing. I tried to find some at Joann's that were like more project specific, so I think I'm gonna keep my eye out, but so excited. I should probably look up how to care for stamps, but so I've been working on this blanket now for just a few weeks, I'd say, but it is coming along. I'm also realizing just how long it's gonna take. But it is really fun. It's a super simple pattern, and so I can kind of do it while I'm watching Schitt's Creek and still pay attention. I don't know if any of my fellow hookers have this problem, but I, for some reason, always have to change into my glasses when I'm doing this kind of crochet work. I don't know why. I think because I'm like, my eyes are open for so much longer as I'm like focusing, but I've found that like when I'm wearing my contacts, it dries out too quickly. It took a couple times to realize that that was the problem. But you know what? The glasses work just fine. My eyes feel fine while crocheting with glasses, so who knows? It is about 5:14 and it has just been a lovely, lovely Sunday. I'm feeling very relaxed. Sorry, Buffy is playing with her toy in the background in case you can hear it. I'm feeling relaxed. I got another idea for the Meridian maps. It actually, I think it's gonna work seamlessly into the story, especially because it'll hint at, I think, the death to come. It happens kind of early in the first book. Not by poisoning, but it's like just a little whoop. So already coming in handy. I think it is time now though that we consult the bingo board. All right, this is where we stand. I think we're gonna continue down this way. The books are a freebie. and I'm going to craft a mood board for my WIP. This is something I've been wanting to get into doing more often. I think it would be really nice almost to have as like a screensaver for one of my monitors while I'm drafting or while I'm revising. I'm hoping the visual element will cue me in to just like focus a little bit more on my word choice, setting the mood and the tone for the story. I'm actually planning on changing A Closet Full of Cauldrons from taking place in the spring to the fall because it just makes sense. It's a spooky, cozy mystery, and I would actually love to do a year-round sort of thing for the whole series, but I think it needs to start in the fall. I've decided to change it, so this is actually kind of perfect mood board time. I still have my screenplay and screenplay info up from the other day. Okay. This technically has all the elements, like the grimoire, vampires, the mayor's manor, the cauldron, pet bat, organization, the curse, the trees, and the witch in fall. But it's a little chaotic. I think some of that has to do with like the color theories all over the place right here. But you know what? I'm gonna give it another go, but with Project Death, and see if I can't make something more cohesive, but it's kind of fun. I feel like this is what Pinterest would be perfect for, obviously, and is perfect for. I know so many people use Pinterest for this, but I just haven't used Pinterest in forever. But like, should I start up again? I don't know why I grabbed this. I just love it so much. Let's try again. I must have still had my screenplay Scooby-Doo meets Princess Bride story on the brain because I also decided to come up with a mood board for that story. This one's not bad. I feel like this actually summarizes my project the best, but you know. And I think I like the Project Death one the best of all. We got some vibes going here. I thought about editing the fire picture a little bit, but anyways, I think that tells it. Okay, I actually really like the other two. If I could get A Closet Full of Cauldrons to be like that, but also I kind of like its chaoticness. It's just for me, so it doesn't need to be perfect, but it's, yeah, it's very funny. Anyways, that was fun. Have I ever done this before? If I have, it's been years. Let me go ahead and download all of these. They're not the right like height or width for an actual background, but I still think it'll be fun to have up while I'm writing. Yeah, download all of them. Well, might have to download them individually later, but yay! You know what that also means. Mood board crafted. Now it is just a long relaxing bath, and I actually think I'm going to be continuing some of my reading for my first chapter Medley Madness. All right, and I have now hit bingo. It is the next day and I am feeling at ease, at peace, well rested, all of those things. I am excited to continue checking items off my bingo board, but I think I actually want to do is, I don't have a printer at home, but I might get this printed out somewhere and stick it in my notebook or my planner. I think this would be a great idea for people who do like bullet journals and setting up something like that either each month or each season. I'm trying to think of the ones that I'm most excited for, but again, I tailored this perfectly to me, so I'm excited for all of them. Maybe the WIP themed recipe, puzzle and audiobook always, and continue to play some more Donkey Kong. I feel very fortunate that I was able to take a day to just rest and relax and do all of this. I'm excited to do another version of this while not filming. I was telling my partner that the filming only takes away maybe 10% of the joy in documenting the process, but I was so excited to share this with y'all because I'm very excited to hear what your bingo board would look like. So first, please tell me if you find it difficult to make time for yourself, difficult to do self-care items that you know would help you a lot. I find like yoga, like with a lot of self-care things, they can be easy to push off to the next day because you're like, oh, I can keep going, and you push them off so long that you then get to like a breaking point where you definitely should have been doing them earlier. And thus the board. Some of these, like taking a bath, I already do about once a week. I do like a bath face mask sort of deal. But a lot of these are things that I haven't been doing or never tried, like crafting my mood boards, which was so fun, and also taking a break to journal, to manifest. always sounded kind of silly, but I really enjoyed doing it. I am someone who, I'm fine writing out my goals, but something about trying to like put it out into the universe that certain things will happen just has not up until this point been for me, but it was actually really nice. So anyways, I think this is just, it's teaching me some other lessons. I am receptive to them, and we're gonna see what I feel at the end of this once I totally cleared out all of the board. If you'd also like to tell me what recipe would be perfectly themed to your WIP, or what drink your main character would love that you could craft, I would love to know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye!